Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm afraid we're PNGs today. I tried running 2 instances of VTS on the laptop, and you know what? The laptop just turned around and just flatly said, "What are you doing? I can't cope with this." So yeah, we're doing this as PNGs today. So apologies, it's not going to be as animated as I was hoping. But hi, it's me. I'm here with wife. We kind of, to celebrate her coming back from hospital, we decided, you know what, let's bring her on as a guest. You know, she's aware that I stream. She's not actually been present for a stream, but it's like, why not get her actually on the stream as a guest? You know, that would be fun. A lot of people say, married? You stream and you're married? What? Are you for real? Is that true? Yeah, she's real. And I mean, I think we can conclusively prove that you're real tonight, can't we, wife?
We can indeed.
Yes, you see? She's there. She's there. Yes. So, just to go over a couple of things very, very quickly. Tonight's kind of plan is just kind of a free chat. We've got some questions that people have sent us. We'll be taking questions from the audience as well, just to, see if there's anything particularly interesting anyone wants to know. Another couple of things very quickly. Wife's avatar is A3, and the credits for that are in my panels. Have a quick look there. Background is, again, by Freya Amari, does almost everything that I use, so yeah, go check her out on the old Twitter. There's a lot of assets that she puts up for free, and deserves your support as well, especially at the minute. I think, at the moment, the main question that people have for us has probably just been answered, in that the main question, I think, was, are you real? And
yes, I am real.
I certainly hope so. You're not a figment of my deranged imagination, kind of poking at me from the whispering awnings of our house, huh?
No.
That's good. That's good. I'm kind of glad about that, to be fair. So, like I said, we've had some questions that people have sent me in previously. And I think it's probably easiest if we just kind of start with those, to be fair. So, I mean, the first question that we had, I'm afraid that I didn't take the names of people who actually asked these questions, so apologies there. You're probably not going to get credited for your question if you've asked one, so I would do something about that, but it's going to take me far too long to go through everything in that respect. It would probably take me about 3 hours to track everything down, so yeah, sorry about that, kind of, ish. But the first question is, what's it like being married? And I think that, I mean, I'm going to put this question to you first, wife, and see if there's a particular answer you have for that.
It's just like spending a lot of time with another person, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the easiest explanation, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I think I'd broadly agree. It's very much like you just kind of live with your best mate, and you have the same bed, and you have small, annoying, furry children who get in the way constantly and constantly scratch at things, and you tell them to stop scratching at things, but they won't because they're little bastards. But, you know, I mean, that's... People say, what's it like being married? And if you're in a relationship, it's not really all that much different to just being in a relationship. It's just that you've got a legal contract between you, which means that, you know, you kind of have to share half your stuff if it comes to an end.
That's charming.
Well, no, but I mean, if you see what I mean, though, because,
Yeah.
you know, when we got married, how much actually changed?
Not a lot.
No, it was literally just a case of your surname changed, and then for me, it was just kind of a case that, you know, I was kind of legally bound to you, and you were legally bound to me. So, you know, in that sense, I mean, I'm not trying to belittle the sacred institution of marriage or anything like that, but it was really nothing changed, really, did it? Not really. Nothing actively changed. It was just kind of. It made it easier to get certain stuff done. Like when we bought our house, that was kind of, I think, a bit easier. Oh, there's the cat here. Hello. Hello there. Cat's come to visit. Hello, puss. Hello. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it made getting the mortgage easier. It made I mean, it certainly made it easier when we had to sign contracts when we were only having to explain one surname to people. That was an unexpected bonus. But beyond that, hello, welcome, Hart. Thank you for the 100 bits. Yes, she is here. She is actually here. You can hear that she's real.
Yes.
Yes, she is real. And I think that on the question of what's it like being married, I mean, there's not really very much else to say there, is there? I don't think.
No, it's just like you said, just being in a relationship but living together and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah. And, you know, it being a massive pain in the arse if anything does go completely wrong. So, you know, part of the course, really, isn't it? I mean, even if we weren't married, it'd be a pain in the arse if things went wrong at this stage. So, I think that it's not one of the questions we've got right now, but for those who are curious, we have been together for a long ass time, and I can't really term it anywhere else. So, our anniversary date is the 12th of October 2007.
Yes.
So we've been together for over 15 years. So we were in a relationship for 5 years, engaged for 5 years, and then we've been married for a further 5 years. So I like the number 5. It's nice and round, and it's satisfying, like a little ball of numbers, and I just kind of like it because you can take, you know, it's got a defined middle point, it's got a defined start point, it's got a defined end point, and that sounds kind of OCD of me, and it probably is a little bit OCD of me, but I just really like the number 5 and all of its multiples. They're just nice.
Yeah, I do like multiples of 5 as well, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I mean, the next question is one that we very commonly get, just generally, and I'm going to go over, this is kind of a specific question, but it has a broad application as well. So the question is, are there genres of music that you like that the other can't stand? Where's the common ground?
Well.
So, I mean, again, I'll let you lead on this one, my love.
Well, I suppose I like a bit of everything. I go from cheesy pop to rock, a splash of metal. Only just really starting to discover.
Yeah, you've only just kind of come into that genre now, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, I think the way that I would describe it is that yes, we have got a new chat layout. So the credit for the chat is going to be again in my Twitch panels. So this is something I'm still kind of working on it for my post game chat, but then there's possibly going to be a new layout for that coming anyway. Yeah, I mean you'll be seeing these bubbles much more frequently as we go forward. I did just notice it didn't display the bits that you sent though. So it says that it says bits, but it doesn't say how many. So I need to maybe give that a little bit of a tweak. It's good to see it in action though, and it's good to see kind of how it looks as well with all that. But just going back to the question, it's a pretty loaded question because at the start of our relationship we had nothing in common musically at all. Like, I think I remember on the very first date that we went on, which we'll come back to later. I'm sorry, I can't stop staring into your soul. It belongs to me now. The very first date that we went on, you told me, "Oh, I like these bands," and it's like all bands that my sisters like, and I'm pretty sure that my response to that was, "Oh, they're shit."
Pretty much, yeah.
So it started off that when we first met, I was pretty much only into heavy music, so heavy metal, rock, some electronica, some very limited electronica, but not all that much really. And for you, at that point in time, you were mostly just listening to kind of like radio pop boy bands. I don't think it's unfair to say that we were both kind of pigeonholed into the genres that we were listening to at the time we met, because I was 19, you were 18, weren't you?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, good. I've done maths. I succeeded at the maths. Hooray! But as we've got older, we found common ground relatively quickly in Biffy Clyro. When they dropped...
Muse.
Yeah, Muse actually was probably the first band that we kind of had in common. And then Biffy came next. So Biffy, I think, were doing... was it Only Revolutions at that point? And that's the album that we always default to as well when we're listening to them. So Biffy, Muse, that was the first common ground. I mean, for a long time, that was the only common ground we really had. And then we both kind of started branching out as we've got older. So, I mean, I've not really listened to any new heavy music in probably about 18 months now. I've kind of drifted onto electronica, synthwave, slushwave, all that sort of stuff. And then you've branched into a bit of everything. So, you know, you're still on your radio pop, you're doing metal now. I mean, we've tried her on some particularly heavy stuff, and it's not gone quite as planned yet, but, you know, there's still time. I mean, I think the other common ground bands that we kind of found as we went, there was Mutiny Within that we found you had quite a liking for. There's been, I mean, not counting the ones you got into in like the last year or so, there's been Christian Ulverston's solo stuff. I mean, I think you'd probably dig his Scar Symmetry output and maybe Solution 45 as well, but we'll have to like try that at some point.
Yeah.
But his solo material, like especially Self 2.0, I mean that album's mint, and you quite enjoyed that one. I mean, it was pretty much anything. Like if there's metal, but it doesn't have the screamies, then we were able to kind of get into it together. So there's Tesseract, there was Voices from the Fuselage, there was other bands within that sort of banding where it's like it's heavy, but they don't have screamy vocals. And then as we've kind of gotten into the last year, you've kind of found that appreciation for the growls, the screamies, the rough vocals, should we call them?
Yeah, I'm getting. It's like I'd probably say like. Obviously, I like Slipknot now.
That's where it started.
That's how it started earlier this year. Well, last year now. I keep forgetting it's a new year. So it just sort of progressed from there and been trying me out on various bands really.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we've tried you on The Agonist, and that was probably a bit much at the time. We've tried you on Mudvayne, a bit much at the time. I mean, we could probably try you on those bands again. I think you'd have more of an appreciation for them now because, you know, you were able to dig some of the Scar Symmetry stuff I was playing for you. And I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but more within my sort of vocal range for growls and stuff, like really low kind of meaty, throaty growls. And, you know, I mean, I think you'd probably dig that. We'll have to, I suppose, give it a whirl at some point.
Yeah.
And I think we can expand that question as well, just to stuff in general. So, you know, I mean, with, I suppose, TV and stuff, you know, I watch an amount of anime per season that my parents, if they knew about it, would probably look at and think, oh my god, that's our son. Where did we go wrong? I don't think that's unfair. Last season I had like 30 shows.
Yeah, so... Yeah, you like your anime and I like my Masked Singer.
Yeah, I mean, you like more sort of almost more reality shows in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a reality show. It's more like a cabaret show, I would say. You know, you quite like that sort of stuff where you've got people on a stage performing, and I like cartoons who get hit by trucks and sent into alternate worlds, and it's absolute fucking garbage. But I'm an absolute filthy slut for that sort of stuff. And you've seen my light novel collection, you've seen my manga collection, you know what it's like. And I suppose it comes to books as well. I mean, I read nothing but sci-fi and fantasy, and then you pretty much just stick to historical fiction.
Yeah.
You know, I read stuff like Steve Erickson and R. Scott Bakker and Kate Elliott. And I mean, the authors that I kind of see you looking into really these days are... the name's gone out of my head now. The one who did the Tudor books.
Philippa Gregory.
That's her, yeah. So you like that sort of stuff, and when you look at it, there's not very much common ground that we actually have in terms of that sort of stuff. But it's more sort of like where there is common ground, there's enough to kind of glue us together. I mean, do you remember when we were at university and we used to be in my dorm room at night times and we'd just be watching your Family Guy box set, and that's kind of how we kind of bonded over the one mutual thing that we really had at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, to expand on that, before Family Guy became awful and just became an incessant tirade of really awful jokes about, you know, disabilities and race and all that sort of stuff, it was pretty funny, and we used to get the box set once a year. I mean, that stopped after it turned to an absolute mush of shite, but that's a conversation, I think, for another time. But the point is, there's enough common ground that we can get together. We can watch some stuff, and then if we need to, we can just go off and do our own thing. Like, I mean, there's no way I think that I would catch you watching trash alternate reality animes, and there's no way you'd catch me watching Friends.
No.
But then, if we want to watch something together, there's enough that we enjoy mutually that we can go off. You can go your way, I can go mine, and then if our paths cross at some point and we want to make them cross, then I mean it's pretty easy to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not difficult. The next question on the list. I mean, I've got a very simple answer for this, but I suppose it's going to take a bit more explaining for you. Why you like this?
Why am I like what?
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, so I think in terms of why are you how you are as a person, maybe? I mean, I get the feeling that the person who was asking this was more directing it towards me, and my simple answer towards why am I the way I am is I have a traumatic brain injury, and my thought process is kind of fucked as a result of that. I mean, it's a non-treatable, permanent, blunt force trauma injury, to be quite specific. I got clonked on the head with a massive Gert Great Stick whilst I was imitating Soul Calibur in the Woodlands at roughly age 13, and the person that I was dueling was pretending to be Astaroth, had a massive great tree root, swung it overhead. Instead of dodging to the side, I tried to duck under it, and it clonked me right on the head. I mean, if I rub my head just so... where's the dink? Where's the dink? There it is. Oh, yeah, that's it. And it's still... It's almost a little bit squishy. But yeah, there is still a trench in my skull from where that stick hit me. I mean, I got left with permanent symptoms off of that. I've got visual snow. I can't tolerate bright natural light. I've just noticed I've got... is that hair sticking up just really stupidly at the front again?
Yep.
Good God, I've gotten a hoagie. And then as for you, I suppose that... Well, I mean, for you to tolerate being with me as long as you have done, you've got to be at least a little crazy, right? Technical issues? Huh? Oh, no, the, what, with the avatars? You have the stream muted. Oh, no! Oh, you poor sausage. No, don't worry, the VOD is going to be going up onto my YouTube archive, so you will be able to catch up on the answers another time. But don't worry. Oh, bless you. No, we can't run animated avatars because the laptop will not tolerate 2 instances of VTube Studio running at once. Yeah, so we can't run the avatars animated. I think the problem is it kind of gets to a point where you've got 2 webcams feeding into one little laptop, and this laptop is a workhorse, and it's done me right proud for all the time I've been streaming, but at the same time it's still a laptop. It could still die quite easily. I mean, like I said, the answers we've given already are going to go up onto the archive at some point, so...
Hi!
Yeah, you hear? She's real, she exists. She exists. Yeah, people are actually going to realise that... That's not untrue. That's not untrue at all, actually, to be fair. Carrying on with the questions, how did we meet? Now that's always a good story, actually, isn't it? How did we meet?
Well, originally I became friends with a couple of people on my course who happened to share a dormitory / corridor with my beloved, and yeah, so we just basically got introduced. I think there was some sort of gathering going on, something or another. I can't remember what it was for.
I remember the first time I met you. So
yeah.
The first time I met you, there was some sort of problem, and you were with a group of the girls who had basically gone to the student union to sort it out.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you were wearing your... I mean, this is one... Just going back to the previous question about why you like this, one of the symptoms of my head injury is my memory is kind of ridiculous sometimes. So
Yeah, you remember much more than I do.
Yeah, the kind of trade-off with that is I have really poor short-term memory. So if you want me to go over how we first met down to almost very minute detail, which I'm about to do anyway, I can do that. But don't ask me if I've locked the door as I'm going out of the house, because I will go back and check it around about 10 times, much like your sister.
Yes.
Yeah. So what happened was you and the girls were off to the student union to complain about something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember you were wearing your white hoodie with the stars on it.
Yeah.
And I sent you a message on Facebook Messenger, which at the time was a new thing. And I said, hey, and I'm going to paraphrase this a little bit just because otherwise it's a bit doxy. I said, hey, are you the girl with the stars? And then you didn't respond to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I've been absolutely shot the fuck down there. All right, whatever. And it kind of turned out that you...
Alice.
Yes. So then along came our one of our mutual friends, and what had actually happened is you had not seen the message because, I mean, Facebook Messenger at the time was not its own program. It was just a message function on Facebook, and if you didn't go on Facebook, you wouldn't know you had a message, and that's pretty much what's happened. You hadn't gone on Facebook because why would you back then? It was 2007. You know, it was like maybe 10 people in a friends group would have Facebook, and the rest of them were just like, what the hell is this? You know, what's a computer? Technology scares me. And I mean, that's just kind of endemic to old people like us, I guess, but whatever. And then our mutual friend kind of lied to both of us. And with every respect to her, she lied to both of us. Because she came to you and said, oh, this guy's kind of interested in you, maybe you should go hang out sometimes. Like, you were just kind of like, okay. And she came to me and said, hey, there's a girl. She's kind of interested in you. Do you want to hang out sometime? And I was like, yeah, maybe. And I hadn't really given it much thought at that point because honestly, beyond like saying hi and making friends, I mean, it hadn't really crossed my mind at that point. You know, it's just kind of like printers, yeah. Especially printers with scanners attached to them. I kind of miss being sat next to a giant industrial printer at work, but that's by the by, I think, for the moment. But what happened then was we all, that mutual friend had basically lied to both of us and said, that other person is well interested in you to each of us. And it kind of got us, you know, we were both kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. Well. And, I mean, we never really questioned it until later, until after the fact, really. And, I mean, I think the kindest way to say it is we both got absolutely fucking leathered.
Yeah, we got quite drunk.
Yeah. And, I mean, drunk uni students, you can see where this is going. I mean, the next part of the story is probably the more entertaining one because, you know, drunk students, you can see where that's going. The next morning, we were accosted by a Catholic midget. I can't put it in any other terms. This actually happened. I'm not embellishing the story at all. We got accosted by an extremely small Catholic and told that we better be in a relationship now because that's incredibly sinful, what you did. Yeah. So you better be together now because otherwise God's going to get you. And that's pretty much what it came to. Yeah. It sounds really wacky when I actually say it out loud, but I mean, university was a wacky time. I mean, I used to creep around halls of residence dressed up as a ninja. There was an entire manhunt for me in my ninja form, and people could never find me because I used to go under the stairs and hide there, and no one thought to look there. That's why I was smart. Oh, jeez, that almost sounds like. I mean, beyond the cult side of things, you know, I mean, I think my thesis is going to be going into ministry. So, you know what? That's kind of fitting. But yeah, I mean, the morning after, the night before, we get threatened by an extremely small Catholic, told that we better be in a relationship now. I mean, it was almost like something from a stereotypical Irish Catholic family. And I will just disclaimer right now that your family is a stereotypical Irish Catholic family.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she hangs out with them, she comes back, and it's like she's been living in County Kerry for her entire life. And it does make it kind of difficult sometimes to understand you when you come back from seeing family. But then, I mean, I can't talk. I'm originally from farming country, so, you know, it's all... well, if you've ever heard of a band called the Wurzels, that's how people where I'm originally from talk.
We've got a brand new combine harvester.
Careful there, careful. We don't want to set off the copyright filter, my dear. Okay, but yeah, I mean, the Wurzels is basically how people where I'm from speak, and then your family is... It's like an episode of Father Ted. I don't know how else to describe my wife's family. It's like being inside an episode of Father Ted, and almost everyone is Father Dougal or Father Jack. If you don't know Father Ted, I mean, you really should do so. Go watch it. But that kind of flows into what our first date was, because after we got threatened by the Catholic midget, we thought to ourselves, well, you know what? Why not? Why? Yeah, we kind of lied to appease them and said, oh yeah, we're definitely an item now. Kind of looking at each other like, well, are we stuck together now or what? And then after that, we went to the park at our university, just behind the library, and we got some fridge, and we were talking about music. I mean, do you remember much of that day?
I remember getting fridge.
Yeah, the fridge was good. It was the caramel flavour. Yeah, and I mean, that was the first time we've really hung out. I mean, the night before was just kind of us getting drunk together and one thing leading to another. But the other, I mean, the day that we actually went on that date to spend some time together, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we spent the entire day together plus the evening as well. You know, like, oh, actually, I quite like this person. I like their company. And then, I mean, that's... As a first date, it was pretty lame, to be fair, wasn't it? You know, it's like, let's go to the park and have a £1 milkshake.
Yeah.
There's not much else we can say about that, but... I mean, it was good. Just excuse me 1 second. I need to sneeze, but I don't want to do it to the microphone. Just give me a second. It didn't come out. It's going to come out any minute, I think. Just bear with me. I just realised that the mic mute kills my mic, but it doesn't kill my wife's. So you'll have heard it on her blooming microphone. Bloody hell. Okay. So, I mean, in terms... I suppose that expanding on that with, like, other stuff we've done for dates might be a good idea, just because our first date was really boring.
Yeah.
Like, our first date was incredibly boring, but, I mean... I kind of feel like after our first date was much more exciting, just in the sense that I'm pretty sure that's the first... You kind of said, oh, hey, I've got this Family Guy box set, do you want to watch it? And I'm just like, yeah. And I mean, that kind of kicked everything off with us kind of watching all that sort of stuff. And then after that, I mean, normally if we go on a date, it tends to be to a cat cafe, doesn't it?
Yeah. Most of our dates revolve around cats nowadays.
Yeah. Seeing cats. I mean, there's quite a nice walk near where we live, so we sometimes just go on a date around there. Sometimes just go grab a coffee. I mean, as far as like going on dates, we're kind of boring in that regard.
Yeah, we just keep it simple, I guess.
I mean, that's the thing with Yorkshire folk. You know, we likes it simple. We doesn't like it complicated like them Southerns.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, but no, I think, probably covers that. I mean, the next question we've got at the minute, is how did we end up getting married?
Well, it took you 5 years to get up the courage to actually ask me to marry you.
I had, in my defence, I had been kind of umming and ahhing about it since like about 18 months after we met. So it took me a long while to get up the courage to actually ask you.
Yeah.
The thing was, I was kind of scared I was going to frighten her away from me, because I was like, do you really want to marry me? But no, 5 years after we got together, we became engaged.
That's another story as well.
We'll come to that in a second. Yeah, that's one of the dumbest engagements. Hey, welcome Andy, welcome. Thank you for the 28 bits. That is. It does kind of say in the new chat bubbles. I need to, I think, tweak that because. I think that should come up as an icon and not text. I got some troubleshooting to do with this thing later, but that's for another time. Sorry, carry on, my love.
So basically we got engaged after 5 years, and then it got to, the year that it was going to be our 10th anniversary, and we thought, hang on, we should actually get this arranged now.
Pretty much, yeah. So we got married on our 10th anniversary, which, I'll be honest, I half did for the sake of simplicity. You can imagine, you've got a date that you actually became a couple, and then you've got your marriage date. And it's like, why have those as different dates? Because I can just make it much more simple for myself by having them on the same date, so I don't ever forget either. So if I forget one, then you can go, you remembered our anniversary. It's like, yeah, I did. I remembered it's the same day, see? No, it was kind of a romantic gesture as well, in the sense that, it was kind of poetic, would we say?
Yeah, I mean, it just so happened that we were able to book that day. It sort of all fell into place that year, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we went to the town hall, we found out that they had that date available. We got married, and then we had a bit of a party afterwards.
We had a lot of a party afterwards. I mean, I think that I'm not going to go into exact specifics, because without the parties here to explain their respective positions, some of the stories, because they're my D&D friends that come out from that group anyway, sound horrendous unless the persons in question are telling the stories, because there's a lot of important context that they give. But suffice it to say, 3 of my D&D friends, one of whom I'm in a band with now, rocked up after we got married, came to the party afterwards. They proceeded to get me roaring drunk. They drank every single thing that you would drink at that point and forced you to go on to a different kind of drink. One of them got naked, which I wasn't aware of until very far after the fact, and he actually then went on to become sober off of this, so it kind of served as an awakening for him, like, wow, I need to actually change something about my life. So, good on him for using us as a springboard for self-improvement. That's always a good thing. And then as we were going home, one of our friends gave us a lift home, and then the friend who was also roaring drunk at that point attempted to hijack the friend who gave us a lift back. So he tried to roll off with his car, and it was just it took them a while to become friends again, shall we say, but it was a fun experience. I mean, the thing was, I missed almost all this because I had to hop out the car to be unwell due to my horrific travel sickness, and that then meant that I kind of got there at the tail end, and I was just like, oh, hello, and fell into the house and then just passed out pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of how we ended up getting married, the proposal is probably the funniest story because it was incredibly stupid. And I mean, I think that in terms of dumb proposals, I'm pretty confident that I would win out on most people for stupidest proposal to significant other. So, what had happened, do you mind me going through the story?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it'll entertain the good folks here. So, what happened was wife had been away visiting one of her best friends who lives approximately 300 miles away from where we do now. And what then happened is she'd been kind of chebbing about the fact I hadn't proposed at that point. One of her other friends had kind of given her the whole, if he don't propose to you, girlfriend, snap, snap, snap sort of talk. And it kind of rubbed off on you a bit in the sense that you're like, oh, when are you going to propose then, dickhead? I'm like, oh, sure, not going to. And then some of my friends at work were like, yeah, you should actually do it. And so I finally got up the courage to do it, and I'm like, I'm going to do it when she gets back from visiting her Bezzy, as soon as she gets off the bus, because you taken a train up to nearby, and then you're going to... no, it was a bus, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got a train as far as London, and then
and then you bussed home.
Then got the coach from London to Meadowhall.
Yeah. So you got the coach back, and my thought was, okay, what I'm going to do is, as she steps off the coach, I'll flourish, get down on one knee, and in front of all these people, she'll be like, oh my god, so romantic, and it would be amazing. And I was there, ready to do it, and you basically had your hand luggage, and you thrust it at my chest and you said, carry this. And I'm just like, oh. Well, there goes that idea. And, I mean, what happened after that point was kind of fun as well, because Basically, this was a mall car park, so a big old shopping centre, and we were parked on the far side of it. So wife thrusts the bag at me, says, "Carry this," and I'm just there with the boxed ring in my pocket, just like, well, shit, what do I do? My entire plan has gone out the window. I don't know how to kind of pull this back. So I just kind of mutely carried her bag back. And one of her friends was with her at the time, also carrying in bags. And we got back to the car, which was parked probably about a 10-minute walk away. And we're loading up the car. And bearing in mind that this is an empty supermarket car park lot. Not supermarket, so an empty shopping centre car park at this point. There's almost no one around. It's a little bit damp on the ground. I mean, it's like, at this point, it was, I think it was like the 9th or 10th of September or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's pretty dreary. And as we're loading bags up into the car, I say to you, "Oh, by the way, I got you a present." And you're like, "Oh, okay, what is it?" And I'm like, "I passed you the bag." And it's like, "Right, I'm just going to get your suitcase back up in there." And I turned around and you were there and you had the box. You're like, what's going on? So I got down on my knee, like ready to pop the question. You open it and you just kind of look at me. And instead of saying, "Wife, will you marry me?" I kind of spoke those immortal words that you will never let me live down,
Yeah.
which were, "Do you want to?"
I think
Yeah.
my answer was the best bit. I was like, "Oh, go on then."
Yeah. There's no word of a lie there. My exact words to wife at that point were, "Do you want to?" And she responded with, "Okay, go on then."
Pretty much.
Basically, just all right. And how the fuck that was a successful marriage proposal, I don't know. I mean, your friend wasn't expecting it.
No.
Your mum was expecting it because I'd asked her permission first, but I don't think she knew exactly when I was going to do it. She just knew that I was planning at some point to ask you. But I mean, that's kind of the most fun story about our relationship. I think is the proposal itself, because it was just stupid. It was just incredibly dumb.
Social skills, yeah.
Social skills out of 10. Yes. I've rolled a natural 20 on that persuasion check. Oh my goodness. Wait, I shouldn't say that because otherwise Hasbro will try and sue me under the OGL 1.1. On a side note, fuck you, Hasbro. Fuck you. All right. Fuck you, Hasbro, dickheads. Okay, we got that out of the way. I'll talk to you about why Hasbro are dickheads later.
Oh.
I might have mentioned it before, but yeah, they're wankers at the minute. We don't like them. We don't like them, and at the minute we don't like wankers of the coast either. Anyway. Next question. I don't think there's anything else particularly interesting about like how we got married. The
No.
wedding, the proposal, they were kind of the main things, really. I mean, well, other than the fact that within about 3 weeks of us getting engaged, you lost the ring.
Yes.
That was a whole thing, wasn't it? But no, I mean, a ring is a bit of metal. I mean, it was just the fact. It was just, oh look, 3 weeks after we get 3 weeks after we get engaged, like, I've lost my ring. Okay.
Yeah, typical Sarah thing to do.
Don't say that. You're not supposed to say your name, you tool. I'm gonna have to bonk you for that. Bonk. Okay.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Hello as well, Snip. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, mine is still on. I still got my engagement ring somewhere, but it's wherever it is. I don't know exactly where the engagement ring is. It's in a box somewhere, probably upstairs in the loft.
Probably.
Collecting dust, lonely. Much like all my hopes and dreams. Now, anyway. The next question that we had was, how has our relationship changed over the years?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not really, has it? That's the thing. It's
No,
kind
it's been steady away.
Yeah, steady away is the best way to describe it. The main thing that's kind of changed is just that we got old and our back started hurting. Or even our dreams. But I think that's a fair thing to say, is that, I mean, in terms of our relationship, the only thing that's really changed is that we're just kind of more physically broken, and we're more disillusioned with the world. But other than that, everything like is between us is just kind of the same.
Yeah.
It just doesn't really change. You know, there's we've always had a very uncomplicated relationship, I would say. I mean, notwithstanding recent events, which we're not going to go into on stream, you know, very little happens.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad sense. I mean in the sense that, you know, we have a quiet, comfortable life. I mean, we're 33 years old. We live in the northwest of Mario, where the villas are. We don't smoke. We're in bed by 11 p.m. at the latest every night. We get 8 hours of sleep no matter what. We have a glass of milk before we go to bed. At this point, we're just going over the Yoshikage Kira copy pasta from JoJo Part 4. On the subject of which, we should watch JoJo at some point, my love.
Well, you managed to get me to watch one episode, so that was an achievement.
Yes! Oh yeah, oh yeah. I say that as a victory. I mean, I think we're just going to move on to the next question then, because there's we do occasionally drink, yeah. I mean, you drink much more occasionally than I do, because if I go onto a bottle share, then it's not unheard of for me to sit through a 16-hour drinking session in which about 300 quid's worth of beer is consumed. That happened last time.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened last time. It was good fun, actually. It was good fun. So the next question that we've got is, what's the weirdest place we ever went together? We've been to some pretty weird places, haven't we?
What are you thinking of?
Well, I mean, we've been... we went to Scarborough that time when... you could probably post the copy pasta piece by piece if that helps. You know, it might work. You never know. We went to Scarborough Castle that time, and my legs stopped working. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we were up in Scarborough Castle, which is 200 foot above the actual town itself. 'Cause it's a sea fort, basically. It's a sea fort, but it's not a sea fort in the sea. It just kind of overlooks the sea in 3 directions. And basically, I don't do very well with heights. And that was the first time I'd ever really had crippling vertigo. So I got up onto a platform, realised how high I was, and it was just... my brain just said, if you fall, you will die. And my legs stopped working. I just fell down onto the steps up, and I was like, I can't move. And your response was, what do you mean? I was like, I can't move. My legs have stopped working. I mean, where else have we been that's particularly strange? I'm just trying to think of anywhere that we'd actually call weird. I mean, for you, I suppose a weird place to have gone would have been the Space Centre over in Sheffield, the comic shop.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I think it would have been weird for you because, for me it was, for you it was the strangest day of your life. For me it was Tuesday. It was just kind of another day, another place to go into. Just kind of, just a bog standard place I would normally go into. But for you, you're looking at all these comics, all these manga, all these light novels, all these fantasy novels, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm surrounded by geek.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, have you taken me anywhere that I would consider weird? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Anything you can think of?
No, I don't think there's been any particularly unusual places.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's the thing with... if you live in England, there's not really all that many places to go that are particularly strange. I think, if we're thinking about places which are unique, probably the most unique place I can think of... do you remember when we went to York and we went into the bar above the House of Trembling Madness?
Yeah.
And the bar above the House of Trembling Madness is stylised to be like ye oldie Tudor pubby. It's a very tiny little tavern, wonky floors, there's axes and animal heads all across the walls. There's only about 4 seats in there as well, so if you need to get a seat, good luck getting up the staircase in the first place, and you're not going to get someone to sit down because no bastard can. Other than that, we don't tend to go anywhere that's particularly exciting or anywhere that's particularly weird. Everywhere in England is a little bit weird, I guess. Actually, I think the only other thing I can think of is when we tried to find the Dorset chili farm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the Dorset chili farm, and I'm not going to say anything too much about exactly where it is because of the nature of what actually happened. But suffice it to say, it was some country roads that we went down, many of which were quite steep, many of which were really difficult to turn around in, and we were thinking this has got to be like a little shop or something. No, it was someone's back garden. The place where the Dorset Naga chili was grown was quite literally someone's backyard. And I remember finding that, going around to the back, someone comes to see me like, oh, what are you doing here? And it's like, is this the chili place? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, sorry, I didn't realise it was just going to be a house. Do you have any chili plants for sale? No, we're well out of season. Very sorry to disturb you, and off we went.
Yeah.
But it was the fact it was down one of those country roads just in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we'd have stepped like 2 foot to the left, a farmer would have been pursuing us with a shotgun.
Probably.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, in the West Country, everyone is packing heat. Farmers nans. You know, it's kind of... I mean, it just kind of flows on from there, doesn't it? It's the West Country. It's a very strange place. Not as strange as Cornwall, mind. We've not been there yet.
No.
But if you have ever been to Cornwall in England, it's very strange. I mean, Portland's strange as well, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't talk about Portland. Portland in the UK doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's a myth. No, I'm originally from farming country, so I know how protective farmers are. They brook no shit from anyone. No. The next couple of questions probably aren't going to take too long to cover off, just because... I mean, I'm not going to answer the next question just purely for the fact that there's too many answers to give. But the next question that someone gave us is, who's your favourite VTuber? I mean, who is your favourite VTuber wife?
You?
It's because I'm the only one she knows. It was quite insane when you found out I was streaming, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, especially when you found out that at the time I was streaming with a Catgirl avatar, which at the time was on a free license. I mean, you have to pay a license agreement to access that one now because the owner chose to implement that, and I think they were probably right to do so. But it was the fact you're like, oh, you've been streaming? I was like, yeah. I mean, I set up this office with these 2 extra monitors and the microphone and the webcam, and I mean, I kind of thought you probably have guessed it. And I think I somehow managed to keep it under the radar.
Yeah.
For about 4 months at that point.
Really?
Was it 4 months? No, because it was July, so about 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started in April. You may not, but I will just say at the minute, horse. Yes, the horse. The next question: what is it like to feel loved? Now, this is going to be a question that hurts all of the weebs. So, what's it like to feel loved, wife?
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I think the question there was put to us by... oh, bless them. You almost feel sorry for the poor bastards. I think the question was kind of put to us in the sense that... I mean, a lot of people who are involved in streamer culture and watch streamers, a lot of it comes down to people feeling lonely. And I think that what's it like to feel loved? The easy answer is it's nice. I think that knowing that there is someone who would pretty much do anything for you within their power is a hell of a feeling. It's something that gives you a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we've been through a very tough time recently. It's still kind of ongoing, but mostly resolved now, I think is the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still work to do. But I think if not for the thought that at the other side of all this, you'll be there waiting, I don't know if I'd have got through it. I mean, I don't know what your thought is on that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. It was kind of... the knowledge that you were going to be there on the other side kept me going. And a lot of the time, if I'm having a rough time with anything, I mean, there's a picture of you on my desk. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's there. But yeah, I mean, there's a picture on my desk, and if I'm having a rough day at work, because I still work from home at the minute, I look at my wife's picture, and it's like, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm keeping on pushing forwards.
It's a really old picture.
It's a very old picture. That's from the first year that we were an item.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that is literally from that's before our first anniversary.
If you think about it, I don't think I've changed all that much. Apart from having purple hair.
Yeah, I mean, you've not changed all that much. Meanwhile, I have an absolute forest attached to the bottom of my face. And I lost all my hair.
Yeah.
You look almost no different to the day I met you, but me, I just look like a fucking hobo now. Literally, I look like I'm about to come up to you and say, "Give me your spare change for heroin money, or I'm going to shank you." Well,
I don't think you look that bad.
oh, thank you. Well, that's nice. I'll take whatever compliment I can get at this stage, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of... I mean, especially at night time, you know, being able to get into bed and just kind of cuddle up. You're there, you're warm. There's a cat walking on your hair that you tell him to fuck off. It's a good way to live.
Yeah.
Aside from the cat treading on your hair.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a bit of a dick. Is the cat? Fill the emptiness with merch. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, to be honest. Plushies, merch, anything to... I mean, before I met you, I still have him, actually. I think he's either in here or up in the bedroom somewhere. But I've still got my cuddly line from when I was 7 years old. And it almost got to a point when you were away recently that I bust the line out. I mean, we've got the cats now, so they just kind of cuddled up with me all through the night, and that was kind of better. But the the cuddly line is still about if I need him. I mean, really, at this point, we've covered all the questions that we had put to us by people. So, I mean, at the risk of getting absolutely dairily dunked on, I kind of wonder, is now the time that we put it to chat to say, does chat have any questions for us? Are we going to regret this?
Probably.
Yeah, I think we are going to regret this, aren't we? But yeah, I mean, chat, do you have any questions for us? Anything that you want to know about what is it like being married? Any questions about our relationship? Any say-so queries that you have for us? We're definitely going to regret this. And before you ask, yes, they have seen the picture of me squatting in the gym. Who wears the pants? I think that would be me. I think it's fair to say that you're very... I don't know if I'd agree, actually. In terms of...
I think we can both be quite...
In terms of, like, directing what needs to happen...
Yeah, I think we can both do it a little bit.
We can both do it. Yeah, I mean, I think that I probably do it more than you do, just because my mind is much more focused on being organised, being kind of regimented. But my day job kind of necessitates that, whereas you're quite a bit more carefree in that respect than me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you tend to play things by ear quite a lot, whereas I like things to be quite almost rigid, I guess. But, I mean, we actually really have kind of a 50-50 kind of direction on how we run the relationship. So, you know, the input is, I think it's fair to say, pretty equal.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, if I try and make you do something you don't want to do, or that you think is stupid, you have no hesitation in telling me to fuck off.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And if I think something you're doing is stupid, then, you know, I don't beat around the bush with that. I just say that's dumb. So, you know, it's it works in the sense we can normally come to agreement on stuff, but you know, neither of us has more say than the other. Neither of us really kind of controls the direction. It's very much a case that we're both kind of drifting on a raft down the log flume. We're just like, oh, this is nice.
I think we've got another question.
We have got another question. What do you think about me being one of them VTubers?
I mean, I didn't know what it was to start with.
You asked me earlier on tonight, what does that mean?
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
It's a term that she hadn't seen until this time. She knew that I was streaming. She knew I streamed with an avatar, but she didn't know the nomenclature. So, I mean, this is the question for you, really. So, you know, what do you think about me being one of them VTubers, one of them streamers on Twitch?
I think if it makes you happy and you've obviously made some friends, then it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. 3-hour lesson on the history of VTubing. I mean, the early age of the internet, when there was an annoying orange.
An annoying orange.
Do you remember the annoying orange?
No.
Oh boy, we got some history to teach you. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to people want to stream. Not everyone wants to stream with their own face on display.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of anonymity. It's kind of like Slipknot in the early days with the masks. You know, I mean, I remember when I was growing up, people saying what does Slipknot look like under the mask was like a real hot topic. And it's kind of the same in the sense that, you know, they did it for not necessarily anonymity, but it was kind of like the identity of the musician under the mask was kind of different to the musician that the mask represented, I think is the way to describe it. It's kind of the same thing, you know. I mean, I hesitate to say, but I don't have a smooth chin in real life, do I?
No.
Wasn't Daft Punk in the early 2000s, 2010s? I feel like Daft Punk was around earlier than that. So, I wasn't One More Time like something like 1990. What year was Sandstorm? Was that like 99, 2000? I feel like it was before then.
I don't know. They were all around the same sort of era anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Daft Punk were actually around in the mid-90s. I'm almost certain that they were. I'd have to look that up, but I'm sure that One More Time was like late 90s music video. And that was the first time I ever heard of Daft Punk. But yeah, I mean, they had the motorcycle helmets for the longest time. And I think it's probably the same thing. It's just they're musicians, they're playing anonymously. I mean, for me, a lot of why I use an avatar to stream is because my day job has a code of conduct that requires me not to bring the profession into disrepute. So if my face gets linked back to streaming, then possibly it could impact on my day job. Even if what I'm doing is just laughing at two chickens looking like they're having sex on Slime Rancher. She just gave me a look. But yes, that did happen. It was quite funny, actually. One of the chickens got stuck on the back of one of the others, and it was just flapping trying to get off, but it's like, you know when seagulls mouse each other and they're like, oh baby, it looked like that.
Okay.
Oh, what? No! I am wholesome. You can't prove otherwise. I feel like I'm being maligned, wife.
Probably.
I don't deserve it, though, do I?
Maybe a little bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Oh, God. I mean, are there any other questions that you may have for us? Anything else that chat would like to know at this stage in time? So I think, I mean, like I say, we've gone through all the questions that we had collected before. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, then speak now or forever hold your peace and whatnot. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, pretty much. Nice.
I haven't set foot in a church in decades now, so yeah, I do feel that, to be honest. It does kind of make me wonder. Like, I remember when I was still quite new to streaming, I played Subnautica, and I remember, I think you were there for this actually, the final stream of Subnautica was almost 5 hours because I had to run around and do a whole bunch of bullshit that I'd forgotten to set up for. And I was just speaking for about 5 hours solid. My voice was shot to shit after that. So I feel you're not liking speaking, to be honest. You know, it's definitely not an ideal thing. But Yeah, it's I mean, it's certainly been a bit of a journey. I remember at first I wasn't actually sure how you would take me being a streamer, to be honest. Like, I think actually until we had that conversation with my mate in his car when we were on holiday that time, we kind of found out about it. I mean, it was a weight off my shoulders, but I'd been careful to make sure that I was only streaming at times that you were out of the house, because I was thinking, am I going to get judged for this? Am I going to get judged for pretending to be a cartoon on the internet with a 1960s Beetle Bob? How did she? Okay, how did she take it? How did she take finding out? Okie dokie. So, yeah, I mean, I think your initial response was kind of one of surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wasn't aware that you were streaming or anything like that, but I was just a bit like, oh, is that what you do with your free time?
Yeah, when I'm not at band practice or engaged in other stuff, like I've been streaming. Yeah, he had been nagging me for ages. I mean, I'll be honest, Sarah. You know that T-shirt that I've got? I just said your name. Whoops. That T-shirt I've got with the grey-haired guy riding the chili bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Granddad streams.
Oh, okay.
He's everyone's grandpa. Yeah. So yeah. Yes. There's been people are kind of twigging. Oh, I remember this. I remember hearing about this when you said, "Oh shit, my wife's found out that I'm a streamer now." But yeah. I mean, it was certainly a thing. I mean, I remember. I think it was. I think it was like probably. I'm just trying to think. I think it was kind of like 2 weeks after you found out that I actually showed you how the avatars and the rigs and all that work. And you didn't really think too much of it. Just like, oh, okay, blink, blink, walk on. I haven't had a chance to check out Dad yet. I mean, that's probably not a bad thing, because Grandpa is give or take a year the same age as me. So it's nice that I'm not the oldest bastard in this gig, right? There's other people who are older than me. It's not just young teenagers with their monster energy and their gamer sups and their what do young people do these days?
I don't know.
Cocaine. Yeah. It's not just the young people with their officially yes, but let me tell you, no one who is officially 28 will talk about the same sort of stuff that I grew up with, because they wouldn't be old enough to know it. One of the cats has popped in to say hi. I can hear that it's really blowing a hoolie out there today. It's very breezy tonight in the UK, and I think we're supposed to get some 50-mile-an-hour winds tonight, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to go brace up the gate after we're done with this. But I can safely say that there is a certain point where when someone is the same age as you, you know it because you recognise what they know. I think that's fair. So there's stuff that's from your sort of years where you will say to me, "Oh, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, so you know about this, therefore you're about the same age as me."
Yeah.
There's some crossover, I guess, but excuse me. Oh, it was a long day at work today, I'm afraid. Shake myself awake. But yeah, I mean, ever since you found out, it's been a hell of a lot easier, because I've just been able to kind of build my schedule around what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you never know. I mean, I've said that wife might, if she wants to, make use of the equipment. So, there's a chance that you might find streams from wife in the near future. I don't know if she'll still stream under the name of wife. I very much doubt it.
No.
I mean, it'd be interesting if you do anything like that, but yeah, got to get her a handle. Door handle. I'm terrible, aren't I?
Yes.
Yeah. You make door handles. Well, that's unexpected, actually. I definitely wasn't expecting that. Let me know if you need one. Do we need any door handles? I'll take that as a no. I'm just getting looked at now. Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Anything else that chat wants to know? Any other questions that you got for us? 200 a pop. Blimey. 200 for a door handle? I never. I do not have a tractor license, I'm afraid. I am also not forklift certified. If you go into any of the other chords, Sephi will confirm I am not licensed, and I am not certified for forklifts. However, in farming country, you don't got to be certified to drive a tractor. You can just hop on the tractor with a combine harvester and get to work. She's shaking her head at me now. She's disappointed. She's getting a glimpse into my mad world, and it's I think it's causing us to question our life choices up to this point. Oh, nice. So if you've got a brand new combine harvester, can you give me the key? Come on now, let's get together in perfect harmony. I should stop, shouldn't I?
Yes.
I'm getting told off now. Oh no. Okay. Any other questions that you got for us? Any other questions? We'll see if there's any more questions. Then if there's no more questions, then probably too many chainsaws. Oh, that's because you're a Doom player. Play Doom, get chainsaws. Rin, rin, rin. That's how it goes, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see if there's any more questions, and then I think it might be time to go watch some TV.
Yes.
Yeah, go chill out on the sofa. Oh yeah, I forget. He lives in a forest, so he actually does cut down trees.
Ah.
Yes. Some sort of elf, I suppose. TV. Oh yeah, I forget that it's called something like Das Television in Deutsch. I don't speak German. I don't know. Got no clue. Das TV. All I know about like German is jolliness and chocolate. Oh, Homer, we are from the land of chocolate. The Fernseher. So I guess that Fern would be picture. So is it literally the picture seer? Oh. No, I'm pretty sure the land of chocolate was when the Germans took over Springfield Power Plant. Oh, you see, Homer, we are from the land of chocolate. The land of chocolate. The Farseer, aha. See, I mean, German is a very literal language. I mean, do you know that in German, the literal translation for a plane is, it's a fly thing?
Okay.
Yeah. It's a fly thing. Flugzeug. A thing that flies.
Okay.
Yeah, German is ridiculously literal. I mean, I suppose that's, yeah. I suppose you got to respect that. It's like, this is the thing, it flies, therefore it's a fly thing. You know. You know, if our cat was here, you're like, that is a cat, but it is also shit. It is a Scheisskatzen. Fire thing, yeah, see? It's extremely... I should get back to learning German at some point. I did used to speak a bit of it, but it kind of devolved into me saying, oh ho ho ho, du sind ein Fotzmund, oh ho ho ho, and just kind of saying horrendous bullshit like that. And yes, I said Fotzmund. I don't know if that's an actual word. I assume it's an extreme vulgarity. I'm not going to say what I think it translates as, but yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a rude thing to say to someone. I am not even going to attempt to say that. What the fuck? Oh, good God. I mean, that sounds like a brand of butt plug.
It's not great.
I mean, it's... Oh! Well, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, that just kind of makes sense. But yeah, I suppose right now. Oh, good God! No, stop! Stop! Oh, good God. Okay. Before we delve into mind-destroying amounts of consonants, this will be the last call for any questions. So if anyone does have any questions for us, drop them now. We'll get them answered. And if not, then I think we're going to wrap things up for now. If that's okay with you?
Yes.
Right. Let's see what chat's got for us. Or if they have anything more for us.
I think we've covered everything.
We've covered everything. We're just going to... I think it's just a case now of... no, it looks like... We'll give it just a couple more moments to see if anyone's still typing in the chat, 'cause we don't want to wrap things up and then someone's like, oh, my question. It's like, no. You kind of fall away from them that way.
I think Smudge wants attention.
I think she does want attention. We'll go give her some soon. We'll go,
Has
no,
she
she's
been
not.
fed?
She's hungry. She's...
Oh,
Hold on. We'll sort that. We'll sort that soon, because we need to...
it's hurt my ears.
Yeah? Okay. Let's pop that up. Oop. I think that just clipped horrendously, but it's all good. Yeah, so seeing as we're done now, we will sign off. Thank you for coming to this. I hope it's been educational for you weebs. I mean, we may do something like this again in the future. I don't know. You know, it's been kind of a bit of an event, I suppose. Thanks for everyone who's come tonight, by the way. It's been a good little mish. The cat's come in to say, "Where's my food? Where's my food, you sons of bitches? Feed me! Feed me, Seymour!" Hello. Might be the wind's upsetting her as well. But yeah, we're going to wrap things up there. Thanks to everyone who's come tonight. It's been a pleasure. And now you've actually seen that my wife is a real human, flesh and blood. You know, she's not just a figment of my deranged mind and my imagination and whatnot. I am not sure when I'm next going to be live. Keep an eye out on Twitter for that. It's probably... my next stream is probably going to be something like... Oh, I downloaded some new games, didn't I? There's Stranded Deep that's gone onto my rotation now, so I might play that at some point soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe across the weekend. We're going to see how we go with that. In the meantime, thank you for coming. We will see you next time. And this is Shins and Wife signing off. Take care.